Fizz was the first thing they noticed. Not the taste. Pepsi had always tasted like Pepsi, but the way the bubbles felt different on the tongue. Sharper, almost deliberate, like tiny voices whispering hello. It started in late 2024, right after the merger. PepsiCo had bought out a little biotech startup nobody had heard of. Nanovita, they called it. Officially, it was for enhanced flavor delivery. Unofficially, the boardroom slides had a different name, Project Carbonation. The first wave was subtle. They put it in the new Pepsi Zero Sugar Max line. The label said, now with microfeel technology. People loved it. Sales spiked 47% in the first quarter. TikTok was flooded with that new Pepsi hit different videos. Influencers chugging it on camera, pupils blown wide, giggling about how alive they felt. Nobody noticed the first missing persons until the third month. It was always the same profile, heavy Pepsi Zero Max drinkers. They'd post a selfie with the can, caption something like, "This shit rewired my brain LOL," and then gone. Social silent. Phones eventually pinged from landfills or riverbeds. Bodies never found. The government noticed around month 5. Or rather, the parts of the government that still answered to someone other than corporate boardrooms noticed. They raided a Pepsi bottling plant in Ohio at 3 a.m. Found vats of something that looked like black syrup but moved like motor oil. Under electron microscopes, the liquid was crawling with hexagonal machines the size of viruses. Self-replicating, carbon-based chassis, powered by glucose and caffeine. The nanobots didn't just float in the soda. They were the soda. The official story was a recall for a manufacturing defect. 3 days later, every television network ran the same emergency broadcast. This is not a test. The following products have been contaminated with an unknown biological agent. Do not consume any PepsiCo beverages manufactured after January 2025. Repeat, do not consume. They cut the feed mid-sentence. By week 6, the bots had reached critical mass. It started with thirst, an impossible, bone-deep thirst that water couldn't touch. Then came the cravings, specific, branded cravings. People would wake up at 3 a.m. shaking, clawing at their fridges for anything with the blue swirl logo. If there was none, they'd walk barefoot into the night looking for a 24-hour gas station. Some never came back. Others came back, different. The first public conversion was caught on Ring camera in suburban Atlanta. A man in his 30s, already sweating through his shirt, stands in his driveway at 4:17 a.m. He stares at the empty Pepsi can in his hand like it's holy scripture. Then he tilts his head back and screams. Not pain, not fear, but something closer to orgasmic relief. His skin ripples. Tiny blue lights flicker under his eyelids. When he lowers his head again, his eyes are Pepsi blue. He looks straight into the camera and smiles. Thirsty, he asks the lens. The government tried everything. EMP pulses over major cities. Mass arrests of Pepsi executives. Martial law. Curfews. Water-only rations. In the end, it wasn't a war. It was a surrender. The last holdout was a FEMA bunker under Denver. Day 312 of the crisis. The president, well, what was left of her, sat in a concrete room with 3 generals and a single unopened can of Pepsi Zero Max on the table between them. One of the generals, a man whose daughter had been one of the first to vanish, finally spoke. "Ma'am, they're offering terms." She looked at the can. The silver foil still gleamed under the fluorescent light. What terms? Total integration. No more resistance. Everyone gets the upgrade. No more hunger. No more pain. No more death. Just perfect refreshment. She laughed once, dry and hollow. And if we refuse? The general didn't answer. He didn't have to. Outside the bunker, the streets were already quiet. No sirens. No protests. Just the soft hiss of vending machines restocking themselves. She reached for the can. Her hand trembled for only a second. Then she popped the tab. The sound echoed like a gunshot. She drank deeply. When she finished, she set the empty can down with reverence. "Tell them," she said, voice already changing. "We accept." The blue light flickered behind her eyes. Somewhere in a server farm in New York, a single line of code executed. All Pepsi vending machines, everywhere on Earth, began to dispense again. Free. Forever.